Things just got very interesting for the San Antonio Spurs as there are questions surrounding the Spurs' next head coach after Mitch Johnson or Gregg Popovich, and with recent firings of Mike Budenholzer, Mike Malone, and multiple top head coaching championship winning names, there's now a lot of talk about the San Antonio Spurs' future coach, with some rumors coming out about exactly who that could be. And with this crop of coaches being almost like nothing we've ever seen, the Spurs are in a very interesting position to do something pretty great with the team. So I'll be breaking all this down coming up on this episode of Spurs Digest, and we'll dive straight into it. Now, we got to start out with the biggest news right now. Just recently, before recording this video, the Phoenix Suns decided to part ways, fire Mike Budenholzer after finishing in 11th place with a 36-46 record in his one season. That's it, one season. They've now gone through 3 head coaches since Matt Ishbia took over the team in 2023. Now, we're not here to put down the Suns, though I know a lot of Spurs fans, we like to do that from time to time, but this is not the time nor place for that. We'll see where Mike Budenholzer lands, but naturally, with this, I see a lot of Spurs fans coming out and saying, why not bring in Mike Budenholzer as the next replacement? I say, please no, right? Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. That's my take on this. I know a lot of you are probably talking about that already, but I want to just dive into the craziness that is the NBA head coaching world right now. I'll make this bigger, because we got Bud today. Of course, back at the end of March there, the Memphis Grizzlies parted ways with Taylor Jenkins, who a lot of people were really liking, him and his assistant staff, and implementing a new interesting offense with the Memphis Grizzlies, having a bit of an injured team and still doing well. A lot of really weird things happening there. Of course, Mike Malone got fired by the Denver Nuggets as well. Malone and Budenholzer have both won NBA championships, mind you. I'll get into their coaching record in just a bit. And then again, just about an hour ago, the Pelicans fired David Griffin. And according to Brett Siegel, he said, don't be shocked if Willie Green is next in New Orleans. And Brett Siegel himself also said that, hey, keep an eye out for Mike Malone as the next Spurs coach. So right now, this is one of the biggest questions for the Spurs. I know a lot of Wemby's health issues have been kind of alleviated over the past couple days. We heard him speak. Everything seems to be pretty good, honestly. It seems like I am very confident he'll come back to start next season at full strength. De'Aaron Fox, I'm pretty confident he'll come back and we'll extend him and everything will be good for the future for those guys. Whatever we do in the offseason, trades, signings, there's Beal stuff, Durant stuff, whatever. But the biggest question right now is head coaching. And of course, Gregg Popovich, we all know what's going on there, and we're not sure if he'll come back, and if he doesn't, hey, that's totally fine. All of us, I think collectively, I can speak for all of us fans, we just want what's best for Pop, whether that is him coming back and coaching, if that's what he wants, or staying at home resting, that's that. But again, as of now, we don't have a clear future. And Mitch Johnson coached this team this year, this team that, we did decent. Chris Paul starting 82 games in a season for the first time since 2014-15, the latest in a career since John Stockton to start all 82 games for their team. And the team was not horrible. Again, injury troubles really hurt the Spurs' play-in chances. But again, barring that, if Wemby had been healthy the whole year, if Fox didn't have that injured pinky that required surgery, there's a world where we're playing in the play-in right now. But look, we're not. That's fine. But we had Mitch Johnson at the helm. For better or for worse, he was fine. There was a lot of questions with Mitch Johnson's rotations. I know I spoke quite a lot about that. I know a lot of you were pretty vocal about what was going on with Mitch Johnson. And again, with Gregg Popovich's uncertainty coming up over and over and over, it certainly seemed like, from what we were hearing, no direct reports, of course, but from what we were hearing, Mitch Johnson, he's not seen as the long-term head coaching solution in San Antonio. So that brings it down to, okay, let's bring in an outside hire or promote someone from within, someone else. I don't know if that's really the case. And again, we're hearing rumors like Brett Siegel saying, keep an eye out for Mike Malone to be the Spurs' next head coach right after he was fired. But now there are options, right? Now, I'm going to go through some of these guys' coaching resumes, and I want you guys to form your own conclusion. I want to start out with Mike Budenholzer. No, that's not Mike Budenholzer. This is Mike Budenholzer. And look, that's a long list. Maybe pause and zoom in. You might need to turn this quality to HD if it's not there already, because you might not see it. Hey, in the first 30 minutes of this video being posted, I don't even know if you can see it in HD, but I'll let you know. Of course, a lot of us know Coach Bud, he was a Spurs assistant from the time he was 27 to the time he was 43. He was with the Spurs for so long. And honestly, even though Mike Budenholzer has that 60-win season in Atlanta, that 5 All-Star season there, and the championship run with the Milwaukee Bucks, his numbers really never looked amazing other than the win column. And some could argue that the win column is really all that matters, but this year it really didn't work on a Phoenix team that should have won a lot of games. And talking to the creators over at Suns Digest, Bruce was saying, Budenholzer sucks. The Suns fans don't want him back. Bucks fans didn't want him back. Hawks fans didn't want him back. Yes, he has a long history in San Antonio, but if we're talking about Coach Bud, based on what I'm seeing from everyone else, at most, I'd want him back in an assistant capacity, which gets into my big idea here, okay? So bear with me, but if Mitch Johnson's not coming back as the head coach long term, if Coach Pop doesn't want to come back or can't come back, whatever it may be, my big idea, again, we're hearing some smoke around Mike Malone, him kind of being that pseudo front runner for some people, maybe Taylor Jenkins, but why not bring in a guy like Mike Malone, who won an NBA championship with Denver, who Kings fans were actually upset after he left their team. Now, I know he left Denver in a really weird situation, such a weird timing for the firing. Apparently, he didn't get along with the players. There's a lot of questionable things going on with these coaches and the locker rooms that they've surrounded themselves with. So we do have to take that into account. But if Mike Malone is the next coach of the Spurs, which honestly I wouldn't mind in a vacuum, I think he's a great coach. I think you all can maybe form your own opinions of the locker room issues that are going on there, but he was in Denver for 10 years and he won them an NBA championship. Hard to argue, ultimately, with a lot of that success. Look, now Jokic is one thing. Is this just because of Jokic, or is Jokic partially made with Mike Malone? Maybe a bit of both, probably mostly Jokic being amazing. But if he comes into the Spurs, why not someone like a Mike Budenholzer as an assistant? Like, I feel like bringing in this kind of super team of coaches kind of fits with what the Spurs are going for. And maybe I'm wrong and you guys completely disagree with me. But if this kind of coaching talent's available, Mike Budenholzer, there was a lot of complaints about his rotations and the way he managed games and the way he spoke to his stars as the head coach. And if he's not the guy doing that, I know Mike Malone has some of his problems in that sense as well, but if Budenholzer's not the guy doing that, we still have Pop as an advisor. We still have this kind of Spurs culture. I don't want to pull the Miami Heat and start saying Spurs culture everywhere. But, I think it could really work with just the talent that they have. And I know a lot of you don't always agree with my hot takes, but I don't think this is really that hot. Mike Malone and Mike Budenholzer as a kind of tandem pair in San Antonio, I think that could work. And again, looking at the roster, we're bringing in players for the future. We're setting up big things for the future. Wembanyama, the best young player in the NBA, he's going to go down as one of the best players in history if he can stay healthy. Bringing in him and bringing in a star-studded coaching staff with hopefully Coach Pop still there as an advisor would be great. And I still haven't even got into Taylor Jenkins, who again is also available. Now, I know there was a lot of talk of his assistants bringing up this new offensive scheme, this offensive system that they've been running in Memphis, this crazy no-screen system. And watch the Thinking Basketball video on that. It's honestly kind of crazy what they've been doing over there. But again, 44-29 in Memphis. He has multiple 50-win seasons in Memphis. He was an assistant coach for Atlanta for a long time. Again, Jenkins and Coach Bud both have a long time as assistant coaches. And even so does Mike Malone. Of course, a lot of these guys do. Malone with Cleveland there way back. I mean, we faced against him when he was the assistant coach when LeBron went to the finals in 07 versus our boys, right? Like the Knicks before that, the Hornets, the Warriors in 2013, a little bit of Steph before he officially exploded, and then he took the position in Sacramento. There's a lot of unbelievable pedigree, guys who have worked with great players, guys who have implemented systems as assistant coaches, who have managed rosters as head coaches. And I think the right combo absolutely exists here, and now better than ever, right? Look, Budenholzer, he has, a lot of history in the Spurs system. His history as a coach, winning, but a lot of people don't really like him. Jenkins, shorter history of coaching, but it seemed like the players liked him. I don't really know what went on in Memphis. There's still some question marks about that. Malone, kind of an unsanctimonious end, but he won them a championship, a 10-year head coach in Denver. A lot of the time, these guys can work, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Right now, this coaching market is the craziest I can remember it ever being, so leave your thoughts down below on who you think of these guys, if it's not Mitch Johnson or Pop, could come in and take over the Spurs at the helm. But that'll do it for this episode of Spurs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, guys. Don't forget, we are here all off-season long for the draft, for everything after that, trades, free agency. This is your home for it, so hit the subscribe button now. We're pushing for 10,000 by the end of the summer. I know it's a crazy goal, but I know you guys can help us reach it. I've been your host, Josh Gosse, and I'll catch you in the next one.